Wanted star Max George describes his serious heart condition as, in fact, a bit of a blessing in some ways, extraordinarily. He's going to talk about how the experience has spurred him on to champion particular elements of charity work and help raise vital awareness for heart conditions and how you can live with them.
Yeah, Max is now helping unveil 65 red benches across the UK, each of them dedicated to real-life survivors of cardiovascular disease, and they include Kyle Eastell, and they join us now. You see them there chatting. You've actually become friends, haven't you, because of the British Heart Foundation. It's nice to see you again, Max.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. We did Strictly together, didn't we, back in 2020? And I just said to you, I said, would you have had this condition back then when you were training so hard? But isn't... Kyle, yours was a congenital disease. We know we'll come to that. It was through your family that you found out. But you were completely fit and healthy back in 2020. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, you'll know we did a huge physical examination before Strictly, and I did another show 11 months before this happened, and I had a full heart scan and everything was absolutely fine.
Wow.
But mine happened through a chest infection, which then turned into pneumonia, and I got something called myocarditis, which is like inflammation of the heart muscle. And normally you won't see any symptoms. The myocarditis will go away and it doesn't affect anything. But with mine, it did. It stopped the electrical impulse working in my heart. So, yeah, I had to have a pacemaker put in.
So when did you know there was something wrong? I mean, obviously you knew you had a chest infection, but when did you know this wasn't just a chest infection and it was a real problem with your heart?
So I got over the chest infection. There was like a 2-month sort of layoff period where I went on tour in America. That was all fine. And then I came home, started feeling a little bit strange, but I couldn't put my finger on what was wrong. And then I went to bed one night, and then when I woke up the next morning, it was... as soon as I woke up, I knew something, was really, really wrong. And, like when you've got a hangover and it feels like the world's going to end. It was sort of like that kind of feeling. I was like, oh, God, I can't get out of bed. And then I looked down and my arms and my hands were completely blue. And I managed to get downstairs. And as I did, my mum came through the door, and I hadn't seen my face at this point. And she walked through the door, and first thing she said was like, "What have you done?" Like, because I was like, I don't know what's going on. And and then I got rushed to the hospital, and within 10 minutes they said, you're going to need either a defibrillator or a pacemaker.
Oh my God. I mean,
what was that?
It's not an underestimation to say that you did face death you stared death in the face at that point, presumably, and you must have felt like that everything was just running out of control, like you had no... Do you know what I mean? It's such a helpless situation in many ways, because you can't explain anything.
No, and there was... the doctors didn't know what was wrong at the time, exactly, so I had to wait in hospital for about 8 days, and my heart rate was only around sort of 24. So, I mean, it wasn't the nicest sort of week. That was quite
very,
difficult.
very low. People will know that's very, very low, won't they? Yeah. Terrifying.
But yeah, they got the pacemaker in, and I depend on it now. It's 100%, so it's always working for me. So yeah, wouldn't be here without it.
No, it's an extraordinary turn of events. And Kyle, we say, for you, it was different, wasn't it? In that it was that your dad became very ill. You're all football coaches. I know you're the grandson of a Partick Thistle legend. So just explain how you found out. Because I think your story is probably one of the more common stories that we've heard of on the show, where young teenagers who are very athletic, find that all of a sudden they're feeling ill on the football pitch and so on.
Yeah, so when I was 14 years old, I was playing in a football match, and the game was paused because a spectator had collapsed and taken a cardiac arrest on the side of the pitch. And that person was my dad. So through him taking that cardiac arrest and the incredible people on the scene that day and the medics, he fortunately survived that event. And then in the kind of preceding months thereafter, there was a need for me to get tested to see whether or not I had the condition. And it came to be the case that I had the same gene that nearly took my dad's life.
Wow. And so what have you got to do then? Did you have surgery or medication? What's been your...
So I have been on medication since the age of 14. So I've not had any sort of implants or anything along those lines. So, yeah, I've had medication and I take that every day to kind of keep me here and living a long life.
I mean, we're gasping because your stories sound so dramatic, and Max, yours sounds very frightening as well. But actually, you mentioned before, and we've been talking about this morning, that in a way you see some positives and want both of you in this campaign for people not to feel, if they hear the news they've got a problem with their heart, that it's the end of everything and it's an absolute disaster. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, well, as you can imagine, like when you first find out something's wrong with your heart and it's like a serious problem, it's quite daunting, and it takes a while to get over that. Even once, like, you know, I'm sure with Kyle, like with his dad, that would have taken a long time to get over. Just the stress of the whole thing, especially with his dad. But with this campaign, what it does is it brings people together to go and sit on these red benches that are all across the UK, and it's so people can just sit down and have a chat about what their issues are.
And the thing with heart, I think, with the heart condition is that as soon as it happens, and in the months that follow, it's the reaction of your family and friends who are just, they want to treat you with, like, wrap you in cotton wool, don't do anything, don't be stressed. You know, maybe if you're going out, just be really careful. You know, you would feel a natural sense of, like, you know, tread very carefully in life. And in a way that, if you're both young men, you know, you've still got your whole lives to live, you've got families to have. And I suppose part of the message is that you still got to be able to live a full life, a full, exciting, exhilarating life, and not just a sheltered one because you've got this heart condition. Would that be fair to say? Because I think that we've got a lot of heart problems in my family. My dad died of a heart attack when I was 9. My sisters had it. My aunties had it. You know, it's a very common thing in my family. And I do think that you do have to learn how to live your life fully, knowing that there is something going on inside that's so critical.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when you get that diagnosis, you can think that your life is ending. But for me, my life was almost taken away from me. And you've been given a second chance through your dad. So I think, you know, you've got to embrace every moment, and I think you appreciate life that little bit more, and you try and share that positive message, because it's too easy to, like you say, hide behind your diagnosis, and you want to embrace it and give a positive message to others.
Yeah.
And you're still going strong, Matt, aren't you? About to go out with doing more music?
Yeah,
tour?
touring, first tour in the UK in 4 years, so that's in October.
And is there still dance? I mean, can you still do everything that you did?
Yeah,
you're still dancing and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been able to dance. You know that.
No, hang on. You were a brilliant Homer Simpson on Strictly. Let me say that was a brilliant one.
Thanks for that. I look more like Mary Poppins. I don't know if you saw the picture on there. But yeah, I do everything. Like I even went skiing over Christmas, which I'm not sure I was supposed to do that, but I'd already booked it. You know what I mean? So it'd been booked for over a year. So
you're embracing life and going for it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Football coaching, is that right? Yeah.
Yep. Try and do that and enjoy it, and spread a positive message to young footballers.
Fabulous. So if we see one of these red benches, take a seat and have a chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, lovely stuff. It's good to see you both.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.